couple weeks. Like, unbearably restless, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, still up and halfway sleeping through 4 to 6, restless, and waking up at that time to get up and, get going with my day. And I've been having dreams and things like that. Normally, I record my dreams, even if it's just on TikTok. But the last dream I didn't record because I felt like I was just having too many of them. And, if you know, like I know, what will be. So if you've ever wondered, because a lot of times, and I don't know if everybody has the capability to do that, but there's a lot of people, and I'm thinking mostly people with parents that originate out of the U.S., have dreams that come true, or dreams that are very prophetic, or kind of forewarn something that's going to happen in real life. So I don't know, maybe I don't know, a week or two ago, I had this dream, and it was after I had a bunch of dreams. But this dream was about me being in, like, if you ever seen like those old Miami Vice movies where there's this big condo or mansion. It's like a condo or mansion. It takes up you. It's like a high floor, but it's all white, and it takes up a whole, like, it's huge. So in this dream, I was living like in a mansion that was like that. It was all white, but it was very block in style. It didn't look like a house on the outside. It was basically a block, like in the middle of terrain or something. But it was white and it was pretty with gold accent blocks, like, here and there. And in the dream, everything was white. I couldn't see me, but the point of view was that I was in this mansion, this high rise mansion, and I was looking out onto the terrain. And the thing about it was that the terrain wasn't like you were looking out onto a vast terrain. It was just like I was looking out whatever the front window was, and the window was really big, and I was kind of high up. Not really, really high. I got the feeling like part of the building was underground and part of it was above ground. And in the dream, everything was basically white and gold, pretty much. The building, the mansion that I was living in was white. I was looking out, and when I looked out, there was a little boy that passed like in a white car, and he looked like he was either of Mexican or some type of Asian descent. And he looked at me, and when he looked at me, he was looking at the house, the front of the house, and me like in awe, right? And so I was like, okay, this is a dream. I'm not gonna take time to record it. It's not a big deal. It's whatever. I didn't feel like analyzing it and all of that, right? I didn't think nothing of it because I couldn't think of anything like readily, you know, associated with my life. Then here it comes a week and a half later. This is how scary my dreams are, right? So recently, maybe a couple days ago, a couple days ago, what happened was somebody, I heard talking outside and I was working on stuff, right? And so I got up immediately because I was expecting something to look outside. And the talking, it sounded like it was a lady and somebody else. But when I looked outside, there was, again, like a Mexicanish, Asianish boy. And he dropped something and he ran. It was a boy, okay? Like between 8 and 11. He ran to this white van, right? And it drove slowly past, just like in the dream. It's crazy. Now, as far as does the dream actually really mean anything in real life, it foretold of this situation, but what's the significance of the situation? Probably more than I know. There's always something deeper than what I know, surface level. And when it is, you can kind of feel it. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe 6 to 7 months back, like May sometime, I caught this guy on video, like looking through my she shed and peeping through my windows and stuff like that. So it was just really weird. Um, but at this age in my life, it's like I'm really over that stuff. Like, I mean, I used to have dreams all the time, like I said, and I used to record them all the time. And I didn't even used to really have to think about them that hard for it to be able to manifest what it was in real life and whatever. These days, it's like I'll sit and I'll intentionally make myself focus on it to determine how it correlates to real life and everything. But now, what I'm feeling like at 46 years old, and I'm not going to say that I don't care because I think that is a gift, and I think all of us have our gifts, and maybe all of us can do that, but we just don't pay attention intentionally, because I guess the capitalistic society that we live in, for one, you're too busy trying to maintain to be able to be interested in projecting everything. And then two, the second part of it that gets to me is that, I mean, really, even though it's a dream and it's semi-prophetic or whatever, it's So what? Like if anybody's into like tarot and all that stuff, there's nothing new under the sun. So you could say something's prophetic, but really it's the same basic of everything that's in the world. You start something where you have nothing, you learn, you grow, you develop, you build, you gain some wisdom, you build some more, you think you know where you're going, you build up some more, then you fall and you start all over again. Isn't it like that's what tarot means? Tarot. It's, if you read it, it's rota, it's the circle. So it's the circle of life. And basically it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? So even if you have dreams that are just very oddly, oddly prophetic or whatever like that, I mean, it's not that hard. Like people that do horoscopes and all that, the main gist of everybody's life is based upon the same, you know, tenets. So it's nothing really new and crazy. Now, if you see something, like I said, I grew up with that, and a lot of people do, and I think a lot of people from places not that, but parents that are not from here, And I've heard black people say like the older black people used to have that too, where you have dreams and stuff like that. And the thing about it, like, I don't know, it doesn't faze me anymore. I mean, I don't think it's anything. It's almost like, how when you hear people are depressed and you're like, I wonder what it feels like to be depressed. And so I guess that's part of why I'm sharing this, because there might be some people that can't see dreams or have dreams that, foretell or, parallel to stuff in real life. Another weird thing that happened too, there was this place that I was at that I was required to be at to make some income, right? And at this place, there was a quote unquote, I'm going to say off-site meeting. And at that off-site meeting, one of the people that was there noticed a vehicle that belonged to someone and his family member that was dating someone. And that person that was dating someone was using it. But that car didn't have any business, I guess, there without that person, right? And so don't you know, the next day, that car got into a real bad wreck. So I'm gonna tell you, and then even with the situation that I had, it was kind of weird with mine because right before then I stopped somewhere to ask a question. And when I left, the lady, it just got a real bad feeling like, I felt something was ill with her. But it was like right after that happened is when my situation happened. And the last time I felt like that was, remember I told y'all when I was in South Florida, and this girl, her mom, they were Haitian, and she wanted me to go out with her. I didn't want to, and I was in the bedroom and I was asleep. And then I had to dream about her mom. And it was the same thing, the same feeling I got where this person's trying to engage me or get me to inhale their breath of their air or their spirit or energy. But that happened in real life too. So, yeah, so if you ever wonder how it feels to have those dreams that are foretelling or that come true, and I guess it depends on the types of dreams that you have. For me, at this point in life, in my younger years, they were more, I guess, more encroaching because you're not really, adept to the way that the world really works. But when you see that the world is full of good and evil and you have these types of dreams, and some of them, like that dream, it didn't really tell me, but I felt that there was something. Ooh, I'm just remembering that part. I felt that there was something in the dream. If you ever seen the movie The Cell, and how in the beginning all of the visuals are really just so beautiful, and then when you see the stark craziness or evil, it just makes you be like, what? Because it's out of the blue. I mean, I literally sat in that movie for the first 5 minutes, and then I had to leave. I paid for my ticket, but that was a long time ago. But I walked out in the middle of it because it was too much for me. So the dream was kind of impacting like that because really it was real calm, beautiful, and peaceful. I didn't know what this little Asian Mexican boy was looking at me going past, but I'm like, oh, I don't care. I'm in my nice mansion. But then you could feel, like he was looking at the house like there was something there that I couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Now I'm scared myself. But there was something there I couldn't see. And the real life situation that happened when that boy with the white van and, the family member being after dark and then me hearing somebody outside and it was like a female, which I'm thinking is maybe a mom or something, but what are you doing on my driveway? You know what I'm saying? Um, so I don't know. But let me know if any of you guys have dreams. And if you have dreams, are they prophetic type dreams? And I'm thinking, I don't know, like you guys know I'm a loner, so I don't know if the majority of people have those or not. But I know that the people when I did interact with a lot of people and was, The last time I remember was when I had that boyfriend back in 2005, 2000 something. And it's like he had friends that were from the islands or whatever, and they had girlfriends that were from the islands. And of course, if you're dating someone, their girlfriends and stuff, you talk to them. And the ones from the islands had the same type of dreams that I had, and I actually had a prophetic dream about him. And I think it really got to him because it was just spot on. Um, but regular black people, like regular black American people, I don't never hear, they don't never talk about dreams. So I'm wondering, do any of you guys have prophetic dreams? And if so, are you of Afro American descent? Because I'm sure if you're from, Latin islands or Caribbean, you probably do. But just wondering, does any other black people have those types of dreams? Current black people that are, not 100 years old, but and the other thing, my allergies, another change that I've noticed in me, my allergies have gotten crazy. Like, it's okay to have my allergies. And when I say crazy, it's a different form of allergy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I woke up and my eyes, it almost felt like I had like a block of sand under my lower lids. Like, how if you put Comet in the bathtub, it has like a sludge. That's kind of what it felt like. And it's like I had to wake up and keep blinking my eyes to lubricate them so the sludge would go away. It was weird. It's not a visual sludge, as you can see. That's just the way it felt. So I don't know if there's like tiny particles or something in it that makes them feel that way. But yeah, I've been really restless lately. And then my eating, um, I ate a lot of pizza today. That's what I had today, pizza. Um, but I feel like I had too much. But I feel like I'm snacking on food that should be meals, and I'm working through stuff, and I'm semi-productive in my work, and I'm proud about how I manage my interactions, because sometimes those are a deal for me because I'm so used to not having to engage that way. And so for me to be able to quickly get it together and engage, that was great. But then after I did that, I found myself just focusing on what I consider the easy stuff, going through tasks that didn't require, much engagement because it's kind of automated, I guess. But then I felt like my eyes were just growing weary. I don't know if the screens were too bright. But yeah, so how have y'all's day been? Do you guys have dreams that are prophetic? If so, do you put much stock into them? Um, how do you feel about that? Two, how are your eating habits? Are you eating pretty well? Are you eating too much? Are you not eating enough? Three, how are your interpersonal relationships? Are you doing okay with interacting with folks? Is it getting the results that you want? And not just on a superficial level. I think in my interactions today were superficial, but how are they, And also, as far as you working, a lot of us work on computers all day long. How are your eyeballs doing? Have you invested in like some blue light filters, glasses? Because I'm thinking about doing that because my eyeballs, my goodness. And do you have allergies of any sort? And how is your well-being just overall? Are you accomplishing the goals that you set out? So just trying to find out how you guys are doing. That's how I'm doing. Please feel free to share if you have anything that's kind of similar to that. Let me take a look. Somebody said something about topless videos. There's none of that here, so you're in the wrong place for that. And if you want to know how I'm doing, if you just listen, you will find out. If there's anybody here that's interested in being a moderator, please let me know, because those types of things are inappropriate and they shouldn't be on my channel. And believe it or not, when people make comments like that on your channel, but just like in real life, when people say things, and what I've learned in my 46 years now, you don't have time to address all that stuff. You know what I mean? Just like work situations. I mean, you can spend your life addressing things, but people can take things and twist them and turn them to whatever they want them to be. And it takes away from your focus. And just like here, the same thing, people can, leave these little, it's like bird dropping, like somebody just came and pooped, like left a bird dropping. They can do that. But it's just, I mean, you don't really have time to do all that, I mean, I think it is important to address those things and try to remove them. But in the real world, that stuff exists. You have people that troll. You have people that make inappropriate comments. And you have people that do it with the intention of misleading people or manipulating people's perceptions. And the thing about it is, just like I remember when I was younger, there was a phrase that was like, he that is in me is greater than he that is in the world. And so when we come to those points, I think we have to realize that yeah, those types of things and those types of people, those types of mindsets do exist in this world. But we have to realize that whatever the power, the positivity, the goodness that is in me is greater than that which is in this world. And so you realize that you don't have to address and hold on to all of those things. You have a path to lead. You have a journey to take, you know? Are people a good part of that? Yeah. Yeah. But your goal is to be the impact. Again, I talked about thermometer and thermostats. Your goal is to be the thermostat. Your goal is to let your path, your way, your light, whatever's in you, be the manifesting destiny of all that's around you, and not vice versa. So that's what all that's about. And so when I think about that as well, I think about, should I take the time to sit and block somebody's comment or delete somebody's comment? And I'm not sure. He says, but you did that in the past. Like I said, this is not the appropriate channel for that. And if you know anything about me, I'm a very open and very natural person. So if there's anything that was here that says, are you going to make any more topless videos? If there was anything, again, that's inappropriate for this channel. Absolutely inappropriate. And again, I said what I said in regards to that. And what it equates to is trolling. He says, how are you doing? I mentioned about that again. I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm telling you how I'm doing here if you listen. He says, but you did that in the past. Everything that I do in the past, I do in the current. So that means that whatever it is that makes me comfortable, whatever I'm comfortable with is what I do. Now, if you're coming here to speak on those things and to bring that about and to put that into a light that's negative, into a light that's derogatory, into a light that manipulates opinions and perceptions into something that it is not, you're in the wrong place. There's nothing about my lifestyle, who I am, that should lead or permit anyone to be put into a situation where they would speak on something in a way that would make someone think. Because if you say something like that, people are going to think, again, that it's related to something seedy, something arbitrary or something that's, it just rubs my spirit the wrong way. So again, I'm going to address this with myself. He that is in me is greater than that what's in this world. So to bring light upon those types of things, I'm going to say this. I'm a very pure and authentic person. I have always been and will always be. I've had a situation recently where there was a statement made. And this statement that was made was in regards to a situation to try where someone did or said something that was inappropriate. I addressed it. When I addressed it, they tried to turn it around and say, oh, they're shame or something. But I'm going to tell you, I have nothing to be ashamed about. And I'll tell you about this situation. There was a place that I had to be, once again, for financial purposes. In this place, just like any situation I'm in, when there's a situation where I can learn or I need to learn or I have a question, because by nature, that's who I am. I'm somebody that loves to learn, that loves to grow, and that loves to develop. I will ask questions, again, so that I can learn, grow, and develop. Now, also, I have some common sense that goes along with that. I'm very strict about my time and my limitations. So if I bring something to be addressed and it hasn't been addressed, and I put it somewhere in a public forum for it to be addressed, and it hasn't been addressed, let's say reasonably, let's say 24 hours have gone by, or let's say a whole 8 hours have gone by, or whatever time limit it is that you have for a duration of time that's spent where you address these things publicly, then what it means is that that issue or item probably has already been managed. And if somebody takes that inquiry that you made and instead of taking it as an inquiry, takes it and misconstrues the inquiry to change the whole meaning of that initial inquiry and put something negative on top of it, I mean, you have a couple of different choices. And one choice is that you address it directly and you try to break down each piece of it, which again, I don't have time to do. But then again, you have to build who you are in a way that people know who you are, or that your spirit or your energy vibrates otherwise. So, but it's a learning process. Because I don't interact with folks enough, I haven't had enough situations. Just like even with this trolling, there's not usually enough people on my channel or commenting on my channel for me to have to even address anything like that. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it. One thing I am going to say is that I am grateful when I do get questions, because again, that's part of connection. And I'm just talking this through here because I really, don't like that, because that's really inappropriate. And I don't think it's in a manner where somebody's trying to be educated or learn about something. It's getting a troll. And when I think about this, I think back on to when I was on a whole lot. I remember Tasha K, and I've seen this happen when I've watched other people's lives. Like Tasha K, when she was first coming out, not first coming out, but just gaining popularity. She started to have her moderators and things like that in place, and people would come in and make comments about her body parts and things like that. And even though she was really enjoying what she was doing, it was it was pretty obvious that that person wasn't being intentional, and it was having an effect. And it does, because when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing and you're enjoying it, like I enjoy sharing parts of my life here, just because, just like a book, I think it's very interesting to see other people's lives, how they live, and just basically how things are going in folks' lives, because we all live separate lives, but they're parallel to each other. And so I love to share. And it was jarring, even it's disruptive, I think, to even people watching or viewing, because it takes away from the content of what that person's putting out, whether or not that person is part of what this person is talking about or not. So should I delete this comment? I think I should, but it makes it kind of difficult, and it makes it a lot of work. And that's the same thing too with things people say in real life as well. But again, it's that cusp right now of me learning, because again, 46 years old, I don't have a lot of time. I really don't have a lot of time to be getting into my feelings about stuff. And I don't normally, but I do believe in, dictating what's right and what's wrong, and making sure that people are aware. But the thing about it is that, with the devil or the opposing forces or negativity or things that are based in negativity, there's always, a goal of confusion, of creating confusion, of wanting attention, of that type of thing. But just going back to the focus of what I was saying, again, if you guys have dreams and they are fairly prophetic, I want to know if you guys still do. And if you do, are both of your parents born in the USA? If you are Black American and you're having dreams like that, I specifically want to know, and if they are coming true, and how much value do you put in them? How much time do you give and thought to them? Because like I said, when I was younger, they were really deep. I didn't really have to give a lot of thought to them because they were so clear and so precise. Now they're still clear and precise, but being the age that I am, it's all like old news to me, that basically there's a whole cycle in life, and really it's nothing that surprises me. Either it's going to be something that's prophetic, and with the world that we live in, being an older person, you do know, just like you see these comments on this one comment on my video, you do know that evil does exist, and there are forces and things that are coming to, instead of creating peace, disrupt peace. And sometimes your dreams are awareness of that. But when you have those dreams, do you find yourself in situations where you can stop whatever event is trying to take place? Or is it just letting you know that it's going to happen? So brace yourself. Do you guys feel like you're in control of those things when they translate into the real world? So that's the question. And then again, about health-wise, I mean, how are you doing health-wise? Again, tangible things like, what have you eaten today? Do you feel like you're overeating? Do you feel like your eating is sufficient? What have you accomplished today as far as goals? Your health, again, a lot of us are working on computers all day long. Do you feel that are you protecting your eyesight? Are you using blockers on your computer? Have you purchased glasses specifically made to prevent the blue light? I'm going to be here for a little bit more, just because I do want to remove that comment, because I think it's going to be disruptive to people seeing it, because it's going to take away from, again, the goal of what my post is about the dreams. It's about health. And with me, I'm a very, like I said, open and transparent person. So whatever you see what you see is basically what you get. Sometimes perceptions and things can be weighed, but when you come, always make sure that you come looking for something, looking for a goal, let me see if I can block this real quick. Looking for a goal to accomplish, looking for ways that you can be of, be of assistance, and for me, the topic for 2021 was self-love. And when we have self-love, or self-love for me, so maybe I'm being selfish, self-love for me. So if, and I didn't say hi to Jamarion, I'm sorry. And this is something else too, and it's a fallacy. I'm going to tell you guys that humans, we're really not perfect, and I qualify as one of those. Jamarion said, hey, and he didn't even get a hello back. And so I'm saying hi back to you, Jamarion. And see, that's the other thing too. So I'm going to also kind of bring this into staying in focus, because there's a lot of things that can distract your focus. And if the goals that you have, if the basis and foundation of who you are is about positivity and productivity and growing and connecting and developing, you have to stay focused. There's always going to be things that are going to take your focus away. And this is a really good example here, because like I said, only 2 people commented, right? One person comment a comment that could lead into a positive discussion. And I've seen this happen on other people's lives too. But what happened is that you focus on the one that damages, that can cause damage. And so the positivity that you could have grew by harvesting that seed, you didn't. You decided to fertilize. You weren't cognizant, in what you were doing. You were just responding or reacting. So in that response to that reaction versus taking control of your situation, you ended up fertilizing, thoughts or ideas or opinions that you didn't want. You fertilized the weeds instead of the actual seeds that would be fruitful and allow to grow. But I'm still going to try to remove this because, again, if people come back here, I want them to be able to be fed. And what happens is this takes away from that, and that's not the purpose of it. So yeah, and you're right. And see, and this is really good because it brings awareness to myself. And I can't get rid of the comment. I can remove it, but I don't want to remove it without blocking. I want to actually block the person. So that's not something I have to deal with again. Because just removing it is not it's not doing it. And the categories that I had to report it are pornography or sexually explicit material, which in his statement, it really isn't. Harassment or bullying, no, not really. So it's one of those things where it's really kind of weird. But I'll just choose that one. But I used to have it where you could actually block the person. But I don't know. I haven't been on here in a while, so I don't know how to. So, hey, Jamarian, I'm glad you understand. And just out of being relatable, because again, this person made it a point. And see, this is sometimes where you realize it's intentional. It's like 6 or 7 comments back to back to back. And normally when I do live, just so that I can get my thoughts out that I meant to get out initially, and my allergies are acting up again, but when I get on live to get my thoughts out that I initially came to get out, I don't really look at the live chats, but I do allow them to go on so that at the end, I can take a look and respond to them. But if you do that and you see 6 or 7 comments and they're jarring, you kind of go to those first. But that's a lesson that I learned, and I'm going to kind of keep practicing coming back on and doing live so that then when those things happen, I can address. And I think the appropriate way to do that is that, just to ask and see if you have more than one person that's interested in you commenting on that. Because like I said, I've been on other people's lives before, and they may have been saying something that was really good, but somebody came in and trolled. And it really kind of irked me because I wasn't paying attention to the person that was trolling. But it took away from what I was trying to get, and it was something that I really needed. So Yeah, but I guess I'm going to have to just go ahead and remove. And then when you report, it doesn't even automatically remove them anymore. They're still there. So, I mean, I guess I could hide the user on the channel. And then when you hide it, it says the user's message would be hidden, but it's saying delete it. But I don't know. So I guess I have to come back on here enough to see and see if that person comes back. But again, if they're a good troll, they come back under different names. Yeah, but I'm going to go now. My allergies are acting up again. Thank you, Jamarion, for stopping by. If you have any responses to the pertinent questions that I asked, which is, do you have dreams that become prophetic? If you do you truly pay attention to them? Do you give them much credence? How are your eating habits? Do you feel like you eat healthily? How's your health overall? You know, with the computers and everybody being on the computers all the time, are you taking proactive measures to prevent eye damage? Do you have any eye damage? Do you wear glasses? That type of thing. I'm going to go, but if you feel so moved, feel free to leave that in the comments. Anyways, good night, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up for the people that stopped by. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the 4 people that are lurking in the corners and crevices. I love y'all. Have a good night.